Flosstube. This is Becky, the South Texas Stitcher. Today is August 10th, 2020. I believe this is Flosstube number 8. Wow. If you're a returning viewer, thank you. If this is your first time watching, greetings. Hello, how are you? It's very good to meet you. Kind of. This is the second time I did the video. The first time I kept and I was like, I took speech and debate. I know better than to take all those ums into a conversation. That's just wrong of me. So I decided to redo this and make it less ummy. I'm sorry, I haven't done one of these in I think it's almost 2 weeks. But I haven't stitched a lot. I was having some problems with my hands, and I know there are stitchers out there who have arthritis and such, and so you understand when your hands hurt holding a needle or anything like that, you just really don't want to. So I was watching more TV and being a bum, besides doing the regular housework and stuff like that. And I think I went shopping with my mom once or twice to get her out of the house. Of course, masked up and everything. We are very conscious of that. Both of us are in the, she's in the elderly section because she's just turned 75 this year. And technically, I'm borderline elderly. Ha 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 ha. But I do have some health issues, so both of us are very conscious of making sure that we use hand sanitizers when we go into certain stores and that we're wearing our mask. I don't have any problem with, wearing a mask, and I know a lot of people do. I don't understand why, but it is what it is. Anyway, I only have technically one regular piece of haul. Then I have, it's a piece of haul, but it was for a retreat that we did as a Zoom. So it was sent to me to work for the retreat. So technically it's haul, but it's also technically a retreat piece. So I'm not exactly sure how you want to list that. And yes, I talk with my hands. I probably never could do American Sign Language because the movements of the hands would drive me crazy trying not to gesture wildly with my hands while talking. So let me show you my haul. Ha ha ha. Very little. This is the August Redbird design with the chili peppers. The retreat that I did, the Zoom retreat I did on Saturday, I tried to stitch this. It was for the Stitching Sirens retreat. I tried to work on this. Within, 20 minutes of working on it, I discovered I put the wrong colors in the wrong spot. I had, when I tried to jump up just 2 rows, I miscounted, and instead of having the 4 threads, I had 5 threads. And then I also messed up to go in the other direction with an extra thread. And I was sitting there and I was picking out and stitching and then picking out. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So this got tossed to one side. It will be stitched in the month of August, but I don't know what was going on Saturday. I think it's because when I'm stitching at home, normally I am in my stitching chair, and for a little piece like this, the pattern is not very big. I don't even think it's a full piece of paper. There I go again, the ums. I have the pattern on the arm of my chair. It's small. As long as the cat doesn't jump up there and knock it off, I'm good to go. When I was trying to work with the Zoom meeting, I had the pattern sitting up higher, so it was more like this, and I kept dragging it down to look at the next couple of stitches. I think that's what was throwing me off, is I was having to move it continually, and then I would have to re-angle it in my hand because it is a small, and I'm working off one big piece of fabric that I've been cutting as I finish each month that I have done. It's just an awkward piece of fabric at this moment. So I think between all of that, it was just throwing me off. So yes, it was causing distress. And so now that I am not trying to stitch while looking at a computer, the ums, that I will be able to get it stitched probably within a day or two, because you look at it It's just some chilies and some leaves. I'm sorry, it's all chilies. I thought it was some leaves. But it's just the chilies in the skies. It's not a very big piece. That being said, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. That being said, I fully finished July. Oops, got a little twisted there. This is the board I painted. This is the second board. The first board I bought, I never was able to get it painted. I needed to sand it, and I hate sanding. I took shop in high school, and sanding is not my forte. It's just boring. It's not that I do it badly or anything. It's just boring. This was a board. It was a wood pile, fun, plain old board I got from Joann Fabrics. I think I used my 40% on coupon. And I had already purchased the paints to paint the other board, which didn't work out. So I finished July fully. He's on the board. Put some little eye hooks up here, little colorful piece up there to break up some of the monotony of the colors. But what's really cool about this is this comes off. And then I can go and put these in the right order here. Oops. There's January. The snowman with his little snowballs on the rounding. And then here is February. And this little lace has got little hearts. This belonged to my grandmother. I loved those little hearts. When I saw it, I was like, yes, that is definitely February's. If you see, I just put 3 small. These are those neodymium or something like that magnets that you could. I got these at Michael's. And then there's March with a shamrock, which a lot of people didn't realize it was even a shamrock, and that's why it meant it was for March. And I have, oops, that's messed up. And I have Easter done. This is April with the little red bird sitting on the Easter basket. I have not yet stitched May and June. I don't know why, just I haven't done it yet. And they're cute, I just haven't done it. When you finish these, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, you can see it. I put in a washer. So I bought, I think 3 packages of washers because I think they were 4 to a package. I bought 4 packages of washers, and then you just stick them on the magnets, and you don't have to worry about having it permanently attached to the board. I did not want to have to paint 12 Texas flags to put these up. This works out great. I want to give project kudos to where they belong. This is an idea I got from Stitching with the Housewives, Priscilla and Chelsea. They do a lot of their projects like that with the magnets, and so they can reuse the same boards or project pieces, and they just change out the stitched piece. I love that idea. And for the longest time, I would not stitch smalls because I didn't have any place to put them. I didn't know what to do with them. I don't have a bread bowl with all the little pillows and everything like a lot of people do. Excuse me. If I did have a bread bowl on the table, it would disappear into the junk that ends up on the table, or the cat would sleep on it as a bed because it's got pillows. So I've done one pillow, and that was it for the 4th of July, which if it was still July, I would have it sitting behind me. I do have a few other little pieces. I have 2 biscornus. I do have a couple of A-frames and some other little flat folds. I know how to finish. I know how to do flat folds and A-frames and the little square boxes that people were doing there for a while with the big bows across the top and all that. I know how to do all that. I took the classes for all that. I have made needle binders, Altoid boxes. I've done all that. But once I get them done, they end up in a pile in a box because I don't know what to do with them because they're small and I don't have a big house with a lot of shelf space or a coffee table or anything like that to display that kind of stuff. We are at a max capacity of display as it is. I have I'm trying to remember which piece it is. I've got 2 pieces that I know when they're done, or they're going to have to go to either my grandchildren or my children, just because I have no place to put them. I have a big angel from Lavender and Lace that I'm working on. One day I'll bring that out and show you. I need to stick it on my new floor stand and work on it. That probably would help me get it done. When she's done, she's going to be big. I'm not really sure where I'm going to put her yet, just because she is so big. I don't know where she's at. It's the World Peace Angel. If you know, if you want to go look her up, she is done from the from the bottom up to top of her head. It's the big earth behind her. Yeah, big earth behind her that I haven't finished yet. All that cream and white and all in one spot, it just was making me blind. I need to pull that out. So smalls for me just were not being done. If I did a small, it was usually a Christmas ornament, and that's just because I could store it with the other Christmas stuff. So this was my first second small that is not a Christmassy or Texas thing. This was the special ornament that they made for the Stitching Siren retreat that was on Saturday for that Zoom meeting, and we finished it out, and it was this was the little kit that we paid for to get. With a little bat button there. Thought that was cute. They had a very quickie, down and dirty finishing tutorial. I did not finish mine that way. I finished mine a little bit differently. But this was the first time I'd ever used the chenille, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I like it or not. I'm so used to making my own cording and everything. It was just something different. And since I don't have easy access to the chenille, I may go back to cording. I do have a little bit of this chenille left. I could probably make another small. I think I had enough for 2. But that was part of the kit. So I do have a little Halloween-y type thing, witches and stitches. So that is done. Then also with the retreat, let me see, put it this way. We got the needle minder. The Stitching Siren there she is. She's a mermaid siren with a needlework in her hand. I'm trying to see. I think that is a big string coming out of the needlework going up her shoulder there. At least that's what it looks like to me. Oh, nope, that's her arm. I'm sorry. That's the edge of her arm. Okay. As I said, I didn't do a lot of stitching in the last 2 weeks. It's been picking up more in the last 4 days. I did work on my grandson's Christmas stocking. One of my grandson's Christmas stockings, but there's really nothing. It's kind of a boring thing to look at right now because it's the heel. There's no pattern to it or anything. It's just some straight lines. So I didn't bring that out. But I did work on this on Saturday during the retreat, and I zoomed in with them for about 3 to 4 hours. I think it was 3.5 hours or about. And after screwing up so badly on the peppers for the August Redbird, when I tossed it down, this is what I picked up. So I did these little birds right there, and this corner is completely done. This section here has got some it's like almost like a band sampler right in here. All the way down to here is all like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bands, I think. This is the top band. I'm gonna try and get these bands done pretty quickly because they're not very big. They're only to like where the button is there. The needle minder is there, so it's gonna go down like this. This is 40 count vellum from Picture This Plus. I specifically picked a 40 count because I'm running out of wall space, but I love these colors. I love this pattern. Let's see, what did I do with it? This is technically my second shooting of this video, so I put everything back in their bags, and I gotta pull them back out. There's Hunter Gatherer, so I'm right here. As I said, this is finished. I'm up here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bands. 6 bands. And then I'll be able to come down here to do the dog and the bird and the deer. The shape of that deer makes me think it should be called a heart, H-A-R-T. from the old sampler style, but I loved this pattern. It is so pretty. It's for my husband. I don't stitch on it very often. I probably should, because I really enjoy it. Even though it's on 40 count, I really enjoy this. But yes, this is so pretty. And the colors are kind of showing up pretty true there. The only thing I have done, if you look at the pattern, these little birdie eyes are empty. Or excuse me, the picture on the front. When you look at the pattern, they're supposed to have a green eye. But when I put the green eye in, you couldn't see it. And it was too close to the brown here that that's there. And I was talking to some people as I was stitching, and I said, I can't see this eye. I said, I don't even know why it's here. And they said, well, you can't see it, don't put it in. So I took it out. So this looks like the picture and not the actual pattern that I took his eye. It sounds so horrible. I took his eye out. I made his eye more visible. That's a better description. His eye is more visible by leaving it empty versus putting in the green that was supposed to be there. And I think it came out looking prettier. But that is hunter-gatherer, as I said, on 40 count vellum. Then I started working again on my unicorn tapestry. This is what I have currently in my floor stand. I have stitched up to the tops of this unicorn's horn. No. This unicorn's horn. So I've got up to this unicorn's horn. I've got some of the tree. But I've got all of this floral stuff down here done. Let me just show you. Duh. So you can't really tell, but I have stitched out all the stuff down below it. I started the tree over here. I'll work on that some more today. I finally got both unicorns have faces. When I stopped stitching the other day, this unicorn was headless, so I had stopped about right there. And I was looking at it last night. I said, you know, this unicorn is headless. It's very disturbing. I have to put his head on. So the unicorn has a head. All of this down here. Wow, that is beautiful, but it is frustrating. Oh, and this green, in certain lights you can't see it. I'm really glad it's showing up on the video. But in certain lights you can't see it. I almost thought about taking it out, and I went, no, because it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's just the way the light's hitting it. So I'm leaving it in there. Pandemic. I have worked on Pandemic the last 2 Sundays because I'm on a Zoom meeting. To the ladies who on the Pandemic Zoom meetings on Sundays with Sylvia W. as the owner of the Zoom meeting, hello, thank you for watching. We have ladies from Switzerland, Greece. There were some ladies from England, several of the United States. It's been very fun. I really enjoy talking to them, especially the ladies who are overseas. It is noon Texas time, 10 o'clock in the morning California time, but it is late in the evening for the ladies overseas. But I've enjoyed talking to them, and it's been fun, especially seeing all the different colors and the different fabrics that people are doing the same pattern on. I am stitching more by a motif versus a page, if that makes sense to you. So I am working on the bottom left corner, the big motif with the date on it. Oops, there you go. This is 37 count squash blossom from Access Commodities with Sulky Redworks. I'm really enjoying this Sulky and this fabric. This 37 count is so fascinating to stitch on. The holes are not as eyeball destroying as 38 and 40 count, but the full coverage of the Sulky on it, the 12-weight Sulky, is just awesome. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there we go. There is some purple with the red in there, but it's called Redwork. The other side of this motif has the other 20 for 2020. And people have asked me if I was going to put the 2020 in it, but I'm not a fast stitcher, and I don't know if I want to put 2020 in it because that's when the pandemic started here in the States, or if I want to leave the just stitch the 2 and then wait to put it in whatever year I finish it. It took me 3 years to finish Death by Cross Stitch. I know people went ahead and put in the year that it came out and then would do something else with their name and the date that they finished it in other places. I left out, I think it was 2016 when it came out. I left out the 16 and put in 20, and then when I finished it in 2019, then I stitched in the 19. So I stitched it, I put in the date in the big spot at the time period I finished it. So I haven't decided yet if I want to do that or make it the 2020 because that's when COVID came into America. Now, I do have a warning for people. If you are using Pattern Keeper to stitch your pandemic, it is not showing up the back stitching correctly. We were discussing that and we were showing it paper copy, PDF copy versus Pattern Keeper copy. The ladies who are stitching it using Pattern Keeper are not getting all the back stitching. In fact, that was one of the questions. One of the ladies was saying that she had only half a flower on page 3 and nothing on page 4. And we were like, what? And she says, is it truly only half a flower on your copies? And we started looking, and I'm using paper. And I said, no, there's a full flower there between, because it's a split on the page. So we went and pulled up our Pattern Keepers, and I do have Pattern Keeper, and after I finish stitching it, I'll go mark everything off I stitched, but I'm not using it to stitch with, just using it for the keeping track. We discovered Pattern Keeper gave her half the flower on page 3, but did not give her the other rest of the flower that was backstitched on page 4. So then we started looking around at some of the other areas of backstitching, and like I have my little bunny here, and I put his whiskers in, which you really can't see. Let's see. Anyway, I used a little bit off color from the red so you can see his whiskers, and he's got a little teeny extra tail there. None of the back stitching for the bunnies is showing up because there's more bunnies over here. And there was back stitching on this piece, which I have not done yet. None of that back stitching is showing up on Pattern Keeper. So if you are using Pattern Keeper for pandemic, please be aware that your back stitching may not be showing up and you may be leaving off stitches. That's if you're doing the back stitching. I know some ladies said they weren't doing any of the back stitching because they don't like it. I don't have a big problem with back stitching. I do Vickery collections, so I have no problem with back stitching. But please be aware that you're not seeing the full pattern if you're using just Pattern Keeper. That's just a PSA for you. Just wanted to let you know that. I was kind of surprised when we discovered it. So it's good to know because this is the first time I've ever used Pattern Keeper. I have not done anything else with it. So it's good to know that I need to be aware of that. I do have a pattern that I downloaded that I was only going to use Pattern Keeper for it. And now I'm debating on whether or not I should go ahead and print out a hard copy so that I can see it and then use it to compare against if there's any backstitching. I don't think the other pattern though has backstitching, so that may be okay then. So that was all my, yes, that's all my stitching. Yes, making sure. I made a project bag for my daughter, and I wanted y'all to see this because I love this fabric. This is a piece of fabric she had. There is the serenading of the lady skeleton mermaid with the male, the king, the Dia de los Muertos mermaids. They're serenading to the moon. She brought me this fabric, and she's an art teacher, so I had a charm. Let's see, it's a little artist palette. Oh, there's cat hair all over. Excuse me. Once it gets to her house, she can pick the cat hair off herself. And then for the interior, because they're under the moon for the serenade, I did the heavens for the lining versus trying to find something oceany for mermaids or dead mermaids. I thought this fabric was lovely. I really was hoping she was going to bring me enough so I could make one for myself, but I don't have enough to make two, just the one. I have some other scraps. I can make some small things, but not a big project bag of any type. I'm going to be making some project bags to possibly sell at my local L&S. I'm supposed to be taking some up to her probably Thursday of this week for her to look at to see if she wants to sell them for me. We'll see. I haven't done that yet. So I have some fabric. I have the lining and everything. So I'm hoping that'll work out well. I want to also mention, I promised a giveaway of Death by Cross Stitch and to have included a little zippies. It's a zippy of pumpkins. That is going to Charissa Trucle, Chucle. I will send you a message with my email. If you want to send me back a message with your address, I will send those to you. Congratulations. I hope you get to stitch the Death by Cross Stitch. The pumpkins, I think I want to say it took me 2 hours, but only because I was doing other things and it's not very big. So you can knock that out, pretty quickly. I hope you enjoy stitching them. I have some other things to disperse to people at a later date. I just don't have them with me right now. I should have brought the bag. The Prairie Schoolers, I have not yet stitched the Christmas one. As I said, my hands were bothering me, so I couldn't stitch. Those will be done pretty quickly, so I'll be able to pass on the 2 miniature Prairie Schooler little 2.5 by 4-inch cards, kind of like business cards. I hope everybody's looking forward to getting those, or somebody is looking forward to getting those. Anyway, y'all have a great day stitching. I hope everybody's having a good day. It's a beautiful day here in the San Antonio area. Oh, the sun just went behind a cloud as I said that. Gonna make a liar of me. I'm going to go stitch. I'm going to make a blackberry cobbler. I'm going to relax. We're going to have a good time this evening having cobbler with a little Cool Whip on top of it. My kind of dessert. I hope that everybody that I've spoken to on my Zoom meetings for pandemic and from the Stitching Sirens, if any of them watch, I hope y'all had a good time. I hope to see the pandemic ladies this coming Sunday. The Zoom, as I said, if you're in the Central Standard Time, is at noon. Pacific Time is 10. I'm sorry, I don't know what the Europe times are, but I know that the ladies who are in the Europe time are stitching around between 6 and 8 o'clock at night, sometime in there. Hello to everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed watching. But y'all have a great day stitching, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.